Hey folks, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Kyle. Occasionally I get comments on the channel here about the shop. The garage I'm in, the YouTube studio, whatever. And people leave comments about how it looks. How did I finish it? What did I do? This and that looks nice. So I thought I'd spend a few moments to show you guys what I did inside the shop, why I did it, and maybe give you some thoughts on what you can do in your space. So let's hop right into it. If this is your guys' first time stopping the channel, I would encourage you guys to hit that subscribe button and follow along. It doesn't cost you a dime, nickel, or a dollar. If you are a returning viewer to the channel, I greatly appreciate y'all, because without you all, the channel doesn't exist. I'm going to go ahead and preface before we start the video here. Shop's kind of a mess. I'm in between getting toolbox organized, getting other things organized, couple other projects, getting stuff out to the other shed. It's a mess, so please forgive me in advance. So this garage that I'm in, shop, man cave, conditioned space that's not cold, is 24 foot squared, and it has 9-foot interior walls. I built this 6 years ago after we bought the property with the help of my brother, and my dad helped me do some finishing touches. And as you guys can see over here, it kind of, you start playing in your head about what do you want the space to be. I got some tables out here for doing some other work on. I've got what's a little bar over here with some repurposed materials. And of course, the TV, because everybody needs a TV out here in the shop. Now, obviously, it's hard to enjoy a space like this in the winter months without something like a heater. So before I did that, I went ahead and put insulation in the wall. I used R15 insulation. That's the thickest you can buy for this 2x4 wall to make it not compressed. If you compress insulation, it reduces its R value and effectively wasting your money. So all of the walls inside of this place are R15. And naturally, you don't just insulate the exterior walls and leave a big hole in the front. So now this is an insulated garage door. This is one of the lower quality ones. Heading go back prior to buying and paying more attention, I probably would have bought the higher R value one. This one does fine. It's just it's where we're losing a lot of the heat in the wall. Now up above me here, I have a little scuttle hole to get into the attic. And the entire space up there is insulated with R30 bad insulation. Now I would get up in there and show you guys, but there's things in the way, and to be quite frank, I'm too lazy to move it all outside because it's cold to show you guys what's happening up there. You just have to trust me when I say that there's R30 insulation. So that's basically all I did for insulation. R15 in the walls, R30 in the attic. I think it's like an R10 garage door, something like that. You can get R like 18, 19. Really nice thick door with good high density foam. But if you have a bad seal around the outside and the bottom, then really the R value of the door doesn't mean anything. Around the outside here, I have the best sliding windows they had at my local Menards. 3 of those around here, just trying to help reduce energy loss. Now, as far as the walls, I went with OSB, oriented strand board. Or so as I've had some old timers tell me, you guys got any of that shit board sitting around? No, little do they know this actually has a higher span rating and higher strength than plywood does, but that's fine. Since these are 9-foot walls, I went ahead and used the tall wall 9-foot panels so I could just, take them all the way to the ceiling and not splice anything. Just makes it look cosmetically better. Just my opinion. Just doing a 360 around the shop here. Obviously, ignoring the messes. You'll see that all the way around the shop, that's the case. Did the same thing on the ceiling, covering it with 7/16 8-foot. Because, well, the shop's 24 by 24, so it takes, you can do the math, 3 pieces this way to go across without doing any cutting. So it's just easier that way. Around the windows and doors, I wanted to add a little bit more of a finishing touch. Call me anal retentive, or maybe it's excessive, or it's too much, but I think it looks nice. So let's take a look at it. Now I went ahead and I cased it along the inside of it all the way around, and then I finished on the outside with 1x4s, butting them up, giving it what I think is a nice finished look. And feel free to let me know your guys' thoughts on this. I do value your opinions. Tell me if you think it looks good or bad. I think it looks respectable. Around the door, I did the same thing, casing it out with 1x4, just closing in all the gaps, making it look nice and finished. Now, I could have not done this next piece, but I think it looks even better by doing this. Maybe a little excessive, but I used a 1x3 along the entire upper section of where the wall meets the roof. You guys can see up there all the way around, that board follows that top profile to where it meets the corners, where I used a 1x2 furring strip to kind of just fill any gaps in, because, I mean, I'm not a professional carpenter and doing finishing work with OSB is difficult the way that it is. So those last little pieces like that corner mold, cove mold, 1x2, makes it look, you know, a little nicer. Again, just my opinion. This is just something I thought looked nice. Now, the glaring issue that a lot of you may be saying is, Kyle, why'd you leave it unpainted? Well, if I'm going to go ahead and be honest with you guys, it's because it was really cold outside. I didn't have heat at this time, and I had a bunch of stuff in here I didn't want to move. So I just never moved it all out of here to paint it. Maybe that's a future project. I don't mind how the OSB looks personally. You know, I think it looks fine. Painting it would look nicer. Maybe I could paint white around the trim around the windows. But the nice part about this is it doesn't get dirty. You can't see it get dirty. There's nothing to worry about touch-up paint on. So yeah, maybe I should paint it. There is one piece of OSB up here. You guys probably could see it. It's kind of an orangish color over here because I accidentally grabbed the top sheet thinking I'd have extra. So there's one orange piece. So I did paint it. You can see right there, I did paint the ceiling. Just that one piece. So again, just giving you guys one more look inside here, walking around. I'm really happy with how it turned out personally. I wouldn't have done it any different. The only thing I probably would have done is taken the time to paint it. But again, I have no regrets on what I did. So Bob, Julie, Steve, and Arnold probably are all wondering, why did I use OSB? For the number one reason is impact resistance. I've been in one too many scenarios where people use drywall inside of their building, and the first time you hit something with it, you got a hole. This stuff is sturdy. You know, you're not going to easily put a hole through it. Yeah, if you drive a tractor into it, it's gonna fall apart. The second reason is you can mount stuff just about wherever you want. And when I mean stuff, I'm not talking something structurally sound like this DeWalt rack. I'm talking things like this Iowa sign, this Slipknot sign. You know, over here we got the Mountain Dew sign. I got this box holder. I got this shelf. You know, man cave sign. This stuff doesn't have to, I don't have to use any wall anchors. I don't have to find a stud. I've got 7/16 thick material there that is structural wood that I can just zip a fastener into and be done. You know, that was one of the biggest things that I like, is that. Now you could use things like plywood, drywall, corrugated metal, paneling, styrofoam, whatever you wanted to use there. But I thought, you know, for about the same price, it's a couple dollars more per sheet versus drywall or sheetrock, whatever you guys want to call it, I could use OSB and I have something that's structurally sound. It actually even adds, you know, even more structural strength to the building from, like, you know, racking itself in the wind, you know, and not trying to twist, because again, it is structural. It's the same thing. It's on the outside of the building. So for you guys and gals watching this video, let me know your guys' thoughts on it. I value your guys' opinions. I really like how this turned out. I'm trying to give you guys some ideas of what you guys can do in your man shed, your man cave, your man shop, your man whatever, your woman shed, your he shed, the she shed, the they shed, the them shed, whatever. Doesn't matter what you're going to call it. It gives you options and things to think about. This is a functional opportunity to show you guys. Could have had some comments in the past and said, why not make you guys a video to quickly show you guys how I finished the inside of my shop. So let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions on the shop. I really do like how it turned out. You know, put some stuff down in the comments below if you have questions on what I did, why I did it a certain way, or if you think it's really ugly and you wouldn't do it that way, or I did it this way. Put some stuff down below so other people read the comments and like to understand how they can make their project easier on themselves. Because ultimately, the ideas of this channel is for myself to learn this stuff the hard way, so you guys don't have to, and to spend your guys' money as wisely as possible in today's society. Thank you all for stopping in. Catch you guys in the next video.